starting lying down in Shavasana. This morning, our fourth question of what is yoga, and I came up with the yoga is a process. Yoga is not static, it's fluid, but it changes us even in the stillest of our asanas, and this is possibly the stillest asana we do, Shavasana. So now you're in Shavasana, hopefully, and comfortable. Just watch your breath for a second. So we're beginning that process and working towards something, not necessarily all working towards the same thing. So hopefully we are as far as the class goes here with the poses, but not necessarily. So just watching your breath, and then now that you've noticed where the breath's going to, what it's doing, you're used to looking at it and attending to it, then begin to control the breath. So begin to lengthen it, begin to take it a little bit deeper. It can be soft, it can be a little bit louder, but whichever breath you choose. You might want to use Ujjayi breath, or you might just want to leave it more silent. So breathing in for 4 and out for 4. I'm trying to get that rhythm. So a process works better often if there is a rhythm to it, if it's a little bit more fluid to bring about the changes. So if we find that rhythm in our breath here and really focus on working with that rhythm and making it happen, then we're already beginning that process of the mind-body connection here and stilling the mind. Just giving yourself a little bit of space. So once you've got that rhythm of in for 4 and out for 4, and you've taken 2 or 3 breaths in it, then change the breath to in for 4, your count of 4, and then out for 5. So try and count along with the breath and work out if you're actually doing the even breath or the uneven breath now. So it's 4 and 5 you're going for now. Counting in for 4 quite slowly. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then obviously on the exhale you'd add another one. If that's a bit long for you, then shorten the breath to make it comfortable for you. Because again, a process has to be comfortable. There's no point in charging against something all the time. And then after you've got that rhythm of 4 and 5, change it again to 4 and 6. So in for 4 and out for 6. Now that's quite a long exhale, so don't let it all go at the beginning of the exhale or you'll have nothing at the end to let go of. So it's a slow, drawn out process, that exhale, really slowly working with it to that count of 6. And the process here of doing that and elongating the exhale, we know that works towards the parasympathetic side of our central nervous system. So we're slowing ourselves down, we're slowing our brain down, we're slowing our body down, the mechanisms in our body we're slowing down. In a gentle process, we're taking it into that rest and digest side. But it doesn't mean to say it's still, it just means it's a little bit slower and more easeful. So then let go of the breath and notice if the process has changed you a little bit already. And then if it's comfortable, sweep the arms up above your head. We're going to do a full body stretch in a minute, so that's what we're aiming for eventually. But we're going to start with one side and just stretch out through the right hand side. So as if you're moving from the waist up and down, stretch down your leg and up your side body and up through your arm to your fingertips, down through to your sole. Not the sole with the U, the sole with the E, but maybe a bit of both actually. It works on both here. And then release everything back to centre. And then take that on the left hand side. So working from that spot at your waist, moving down your leg towards your foot, moving up through your side body, up towards your armpit, through to your arm, up to your fingertips. Have a nice long stretch on that side. And then release everything back. If your shoulders are really uncomfortable, by the way, bend your elbows. Don't feel you've got to go full stretch. And then take both arm and legs at the same time, moving from both sides of your waist, opening up through your rib cage, through your armpits, through your arms, down your thighs, feeling that nice stretch through the IT band on the outside and down your hips. And then release back to centre. And then take that again, but this time on the breath. So breathing in, we're stretching out on the right hand side. And exhaling, we're drawing everything back towards that centre point of your waist. And then going the same on the other side, on the left side. Breathing in, the stretch begins and opens up. Exhaling, the stretch gently comes back towards the centre point. And then both hands and legs, so full body stretch, inhale from that belly button area, maybe upwards and downwards. And then exhale it back together. And then the next time we're going to take it and stop on the breath and have one breath at each point. So inhaling, we're stretching out the right hand side, we're holding it as we exhale. We're taking one inhale and exhale here. And then on the next inhale, do a little bit longer stretch, maybe even, and then exhale, take it all back towards that centre point. If I'm going at a different speed to you, just take it in your own time. Moving to the left hand side, same thing. So inhaling, we're opening up that left hand side. Exhaling, we're holding. We're inhaling and exhaling in that position of the stretch. And then in your next inhale, a little bit longer if you can, and then draw it all back together to centre. And then both hands and legs at the same time. So inhaling both hands and legs from your belly button up and down. So try not to stretch with your hands and feet. Hold when you get there. Take a breath. So the stretch should come from the middle of you rather than the outside of you. And then inhale a little bit longer and exhale back to centre if you haven't already. How does it feel? The process is moving on. Your body should feel a little bit more awake now. You should feel a little bit more open on your side bodies. Okay, just remembering what we're doing now. Okay, so now we're still in the same position. We're going to bend your right knee up towards you. So foot still on the floor, left leg still extended. And take your right arm down by your side. So you've got opposite arm and leg, one stretched out, your arms above your head on your left side, your foot's on the floor on your right side, your knees bent. And all we're going to do is move in and out of this position on the breath. So as you inhale, the left arm's coming down, the right arm's coming up, and the legs are changing over as well as if you were walking. So we're just moving. And then on the next inhale, take it the other way. So there's an exhale as you stop and hold. And then you inhale as you move. Take a few of those, just warming up through the hips. Notice what's happened. Some of your body might have had to switch on. Your core, particularly, your abdominal muscles might have switched on to save your lower back. You don't need to bring the foot straight in and you don't need to take the arm straight over. Just do what feels comfortable for you. You don't need to overdo it. If you overdo a process, it will stop and you'll have broken that process in a way. You'll have to start all over again. Okay, so once you get to the left hand was where we started, so come back to the position we started in, take the arms down to the side, take the legs out again away from you, and then roll over onto your bellies. When you take your time, no rush. So this process we're doing today, we're moving towards our main pose. Okay, so head on the floor on top of your hands. So fold your hands now under your head and let your head rest on them. So the pose I've told you already is Natarajasana, a dancer pose. So we're trying to work towards it in a process. I'm keeping my head up, but your head should be down. Okay, so foot flexed on the right hand side, and we're just drawing that foot up thigh stays on the floor and bringing your heel as close to your bottom as you can. But just take it easy because your hamstrings might complain. If they do, unflex the foot and just bring the heel up with your foot in a very rested position. Just continue, just on the right hand side, thigh on the floor, just moving and opening up that quad muscle there, opening up the hip flexor, but very gently doing this. So the heel doesn't have to touch the bottom, just bringing it up to wherever you're comfortable. Unfolding and folding the knee, which is warming up your knee. And then move over onto the left hand side, do the same thing. So you can flex the foot later if you want to start with the ankle open and just relax. And then maybe flex the foot once your hamstring has decided it wants to play. So the thighs are on the floor here. Should feel a nice long stretch down through your thigh and around your kneecap. And then let the legs come back down. And then bring yourself up into Sphinx. So lifting the head carefully, popping the elbows under your shoulders, hands are in front of you. The lower half, your legs can be wider if you're feeling this in your lower back at all. You can open your legs a little bit wider, remember. Engage your pelvis towards the floor. So pubic bone and pelvic bones are really pressing down into the floor and you're lifting your tummy, lifting your belly button back up towards your spine. So static on the back end, and the top end is a heart opener. So all we're doing here is kind of pulling back on the hands, so still in the floor, but feel as if you're almost trying to pull them away backwards as your heart then rolls forwards and opens. So take the shoulders down the back of the body to try and open the front of the chest a little bit more. Move the chin slightly backwards. You don't want to be looking up here completely. You want to be looking ahead of you, about 2 feet maybe even, or a foot and a half ahead of you on the mat, from the mat. And you should feel as if somebody's pulling the back of your skull backwards rather than downwards. So feeling as if you're really switching on the back of your cervical spine here, really working on the neck here as well. And then once you've found that rather more active pose than it seems to look like, then just let go of it about 10 or 20%. See if you can just release a little bit. Use your breath, use your exhale just to soften a little bit into this pose. So it doesn't need to be rigid and tense. That's not the point. We're trying to just find the most aligned position and then relax into it. But the point here is we're opening our hearts. So think about the heart opening part of the pose by drawing the shoulders back and down a little bit. And moving that heart forward. Let everything else soften a little bit in the pose. So the heart holds our fears in our teachings. The heart is where your fears will rest. Some of us hold it in our gut as well, but the heart is where the fears are held. And fear of change is an innate thing, I think, in humans. It's something it's very hard to let go of. It's one of the things we should let go of, particularly a fear of death, Abhinavashana. But it's one of our teachings that fear is something that stops us. It makes us suffer. It holds us back. So opening our hearts, you think of releasing any fear you have of what we've got ahead of us now or something that's happening in the week. Think of that. And think of opening your heart and just try and release it. Try and release whatever's worrying you from that point of your body. Big ask in 2 or 3 breaths, but try and think of that as you do this. And then hopefully you've released something there. And then bring yourself down, head to the floor, and hands in position ready for baby cobra. So fingertips in line with your shoulder blades roughly. Elbows really tucked in. And the same position, the same engagement at the bottom half of your body with the floor as we've just done in Sphinx. So here, think of using the back muscles as you gently breathe in and contract the back muscles to open up the front of the body. Don't go too far. And then rolling back down. This time, work it with the breath. So inhale as you work up. And think of rolling forward and rolling that front of your heart open. And then take another one and hold this time for a breath. And then release back down. Back to our thigh opening. So head back onto your hand. Bring your right foot up, foot flex. Thigh still on the floor at this point. Flex that foot, so feel it's got a string on it, and somebody's above you holding that string. And all you're thinking of is that as you breathe in, somebody pulls that string and lifts your thigh off the floor. Your leg's still in the same position, in that folded position, but as if somebody's lifting your foot and it's taking your thigh off the floor. And then release it back down in the exhale. So gently opening up again, a little bit more in your quads and hip flexors, engaging the butt and the hamstring to lift up. So that spot underneath your glute, underneath your buttock, that line there across at the top of your leg, think of moving from there, lifting up. One more. And see if you can hold this one for a couple of breaths up. So somebody's got that string and they've held it tight, and your legs dangling and your thighs maybe only a centimetre off the floor. It doesn't matter. Just see that you can lift it a little bit and hold, and then release it back to the floor. Unfold the leg. Have a stretch through that leg before you move to the other side. Let it release back to centre. Same thing other side. So fold the leg first, flex the foot. Imagine that string coming through your foot now. Should be a 90-degree angle roughly behind your knee. So you're not pulling your heel in here. And then thinking of lifting from that hip hinge at the back of your hip there, the back of your glute. And releasing. And then working with the breath. So using the inhale to lift up. Exhale to release. Take 2 or 3 of those, and then we're going to hold at some point. So you decide when you want to hold. If you've held now, you're going to hold for longer, so beware. Get another couple of lifts in if you can. And then come back up to the top and hold if you're not holding already. Breathe. So sometimes when we know what's coming, it can make us more fearful. But irrational fears are often involved that cause that dukkha, that suffering in our life. Because we get there, we do something, we realise it wasn't as scary as we'd made it out in our mind. The mind plays with you. Okay, release that leg. Sorry, I forgot I had your hand in there. Undo the leg, have a stretch out in that left hand side. Apologies. And then bottom half back to that position we had in Sphinx. Legs wider. If you're starting to feel this in your lower back, widen your legs a bit. And then coming up into Sphinx again. And this time taking your right hand out, not directly in front of you, more over towards the corner of the mat until your arm is straight. And then just having a stretch out, pushing through the palm and stretching out. The left arm still in Sphinx position. So you're just pushing through that palm and feeling that movement, move up through your shoulder and then release. Take a couple of those, just breathing in a little bit of a push. And when you're doing this, feel that connection. You might want to move the hand back a little bit towards you at that same angle, but bring it back towards you. We're going to go into seal in a minute, so I'm trying to work out for you where this is going to be most comfortable. I feel I have to really come in quite a bit towards me, but that will take me into more of a back bend, so beware. And then take to the other side, try the same thing. So the right arm's now in Sphinx position, and you're using the left hand out towards the side, towards the corner of the mat ahead of you. And you're just rolling, opening and closed through that arm and shoulder and side body until you're feeling that if you had to stay up, you've got your hand in the right position to hold you. It's obviously not the same shoulder connection as Cobra, slightly different. So then bring the hands to roughly where you place them, either side, so they're out to the side of you rather than in Cobra position now, and they're probably more up towards your forehead sort of height. Pop your head down, make sure you're connected in your bottom half to the floor. It's stable, it's your strength there, it's your static point to hold you. And then when you're ready, gently push through the hands and come up to seal position. So both hands are now taking you up into the back bend. And then gently come back down. If that didn't feel right, adjust your hands to where it feels right. Close your eyes, let your body do it for you. Let it work out innately where was right for you. And then try to do that 2 or 3 times on the breath. So inhaling up, pushing through the palms of the hands, not the fingers, exhaling back down. Thinking of opening that heart again here as you roll open. Coming up maybe a little bit higher in this than you did in Cobra. It's a different part of your back you're working. So really work gently and slowly with it. Don't go too far. Do not push into your lower back. If you can only come up so far and the elbows are still bent, it doesn't matter. And then next one we're going to hold and we're going to take a couple of breaths. So if it's not for you, come back down. Just rest your head in your hands. Don't worry. But otherwise, we're coming up and we're holding. We're not exactly locking these elbows. If you see, don't look at me if it's not easy to do so. But you can flex your elbows. You don't want to have the elbows locked. The same thing as we often say, don't lock the knees in a forward fold. Puts too much strain through that joint. So you've still got a bit of a softness through the elbows. And you're breathing, hopefully, without me telling you. You take nice long breaths. And then releasing back down to the floor. And then we're going to step back into, we're sitting back now into child's pose, taking a counter pose. So take it easy, move slowly. Your lower back will complain if you go too quickly. So move slowly, come back into child's pose. Might not even really want to put your head down, just maybe want to have a stretch out in a sort of prayer position here without going right down to the floor, because your lower back will have been in the opposite position for quite a while, so it may not want to come straight into that forward fold position of child's pose, but try and find some stretch there just gently in the opposite direction. So counter pose to what you've been doing. Maybe slowly your head's coming down a little bit, doesn't need to reach the floor. Just use your breath to let go of any tension in that lower back for the moment. And then we're coming back down onto your bellies. And then we're coming onto your left elbow in Sphinx. Doesn't need to be exact, but you want to have the left elbow is holding you here. It's your balance point. And then fold in your right leg. Again, heel comes towards your buttock. And then make sure you feel connected between elbow and shoulder on your left hand side, so you're not putting strain through it in the wrong direction. And then sweep your right arm round and see if you can find your foot. Now, if this is very difficult for you, pop your head back down to the floor and just do it, sweeping your hand round and catching your foot. The point is here just to proprioception. We're trying to find that foot with a hand. So bring your hand back again. If you want to take it even further, coming up to seal, we're going to do that one in a minute. No, we're not. So if you want to come up to seal on that left-hand side and try it, then please do. But we're coming into half bow basically here, but a very easy half bow. So you can be down and finding your foot, or you can be half up in Sphinx, or you can be in seal. And then release the hand, shut the eyes again. As you inhale, sweep that arm back round, find that foot, and kick the foot into the hand slightly. So you should feel your hands forcing one way, your foot's forcing the other. I've just got cramp in my legs. So if you have cramp at all doing that, shake it out, let it go, and then try again. The leg's just not quite ready for what you were doing. Okay, so if you've got a hold of your hand, got hold of your foot and you're pushing into it, see if you can then lift your thigh slightly off the floor. Maybe you can open up your heart by kicking your foot back a little bit more. So this is actually what you're going to do in Dancer. It's got half bow almost in it, Dancer, to catch that foot. Bring yourself back down. Try that on the other side. So try it maybe first of all on the floor with your arm extended on the floor. And then just catch the foot with your eyes closed. Again, watch that crampy thing. I get it all the time when I do this. I have to keep shaking out. My leg just doesn't like it the first time. Okay, and then maybe coming up to Sphinx and taking your hand back then and trying to catch the foot. Finding it. Clever thing, the body, it just knows where it's going to be. Maybe coming up to Seal on one side and taking the foot up and the arm back and finding it. Obviously, you don't have to close your eyes because you can't see what you're doing anyway. And then wherever you are, maybe coming back down just to Sphinx. For those of you that find it a bit difficult in Seal or that don't want to do that, and then kicking into the hand with the foot, drawing back with the hand. So there's a force between them there. As you lift that thigh off the floor, can only be a centimetre or a millimetre. Just feel that lift happening slightly. And then release the thigh to the floor, release the hand. Come carefully onto your back again. Not a rolling about, feel like we're on a spit this morning. We're going to take bridge here, which is still moving in the same direction as bow, so just be gentle in it. Bring your heels in first of all, find your little pelvic tilt. Have a little play with the pelvic tilt. Maybe that feels good to just rock your hips forward and back, lying on the floor. And then when you're ready, breathing in, pushing into the feet, moving the shin bones towards the wall in front of you as you lift up and open up through those quads, squeezing the glutes just gently to lift up through the hip flexors, rolling up through to the shoulders, opening that heart again, gently rolling back down. So working with the breath maybe on the next one. So inhaling as you roll up, exhaling as you roll down. Try and do that 4 and 6 breath here if you can. So count to 4 up as you inhale. And count to 6 as you exhale and take it down. So really going down really slowly to the floor. And then if you want to, take your arms into this as well. Inhaling the arms up as well as roll up for 4. And then exhaling for 6 back down. So 6 will really slow you down. So we use the breath to slowly move through these movements. And it takes a lot more strength and flexibility to move slowly. Okay. So then, in the same position, still in as if you were going to start bridge, sweep your hands now down to your feet and see if you can catch your heels. Might not have long enough arms, I don't think I have, but see where you get to close to your feet. And then in this position, with your hands as near your heels as you can be, so you're feeling your shoulders pulled down, just try and take bridge again. So inhaling, pushing through the feet, rolling up. So the hands are still down by the heels as you roll up. The arms are going nowhere. A little bit more contained this position. And rolling back down. Do a 4 and 6, 2 rolls with 4 and 6 breath. So inhale for 4, exhale for 6 as you roll up and down. Try and keep that fingertip heel connection if you've reached it, or as near as you can get. So the shoulders are still in a different position from where we were a minute ago. And then roll back down, Roll carefully over onto your side again and onto your tummy, coming back into child's pose. And this time, again, be careful, your lower back might not want to go down too far. So you can either take your hands under your head and try and get your head down this time, or put a brick under your head if you've got one handy, or a cushion. If you've got your head down, see if you can sweep your arms round and catch your heels again. And then once your hands are holding your feet, allow your shoulders just to roll forward and really open that expanse across your upper back. So if there's a lot of pressure on your lower back here, one thing you can do is roll up and maybe go into wide leg child's pose. That's a little bit more gentle on your lower back. So try that. You can still take your hands down and touch your feet, catch your feet. And then let your shoulders roll forward, let your shoulders open. Find your breath, take that 4 and 6 breath 2 or 3 times. And then coming up now into tabletop when you're ready. So take it slowly, coming up into tabletop. I'll try this first. Okay, so in tabletop, we're just going to stretch out a right arm and a left leg out and back. Keep them on the floor, just a bit of a stretch there. And then come back in. Left arm and right leg. And come back in. Right arm, left leg again. And then find your breath again. And when you're taking an in-breath next time, just lift that right arm, left leg up at the hip and shoulder joints. So you've got a diagonal stretch here now. We'll not put them out to the side. We're dead ahead and dead behind us here. And then bring the hands back down. So we did stop there for a breath. Please keep breathing. Don't think if I haven't said exhale, you can't exhale. Take your left arm out and your right leg out and lift and lower. So choice here is to continue with this one or come with me now and come up to down dog. Now, down dog's not for everybody, it's an inversion. So please stick with the one we were just doing there. Otherwise, coming up to down dog, we're going to take split dog. So we're taking our right foot up behind us and reaching that sole out for that top corner. And then taking that leg down. Left leg. And I'm not going to try the one arm, one leg in down dog here this morning. Let's just take the leg up into split dog a couple of times. And then as you come up into split dog the next time on your right hand side, hold it in split dog, hold your leg up, fold that knee again, so as if you were taking your heel back towards your bottom, and then see if you can just twist slightly towards that side and open up that thigh. And then release, bring it back in. Take one more twist, rolling open, and back. Those of you that are on the tabletop version, please just stop. We're taking a roll up next, so come up to the top if you're ready to, or have a rest in child's pose if you don't want to do this. Folding the left leg, twisting and rolling in split dog. And then releasing the foot back down. Those in down dog, walk your feet forward. Those in tabletop, come up slowly to the top. So you can either sweep up or roll up or come up in your own way, but please open your eyes, take it slowly, look along the floor. Take it as a slow process, this one. Come up to the top and find yourself in Tadasana. Another one of our still poses. But there's a process going on in Tadasana all the time as well, remember, through our feet, through our legs. whether you're moving or whether you're still in this. I tend to roll around in my feet in this, I find, actually. Okay, so continuing that process once we're all up here. We're coming into half Apanasana. If anybody needs a rest at all, I did say have a chair nearby. You can always have a seat if you need to. But please don't keep moving with me. Take the time to work through your own process here. But the next one we're going to do is half Apanasana. So we're bringing our right leg up. And we're taking our right hand round that shin. And we're drawing that knee into chest. And we're taking our shoulders back and lifting up through the front of our body is now open again. Flexing that right foot if you can. And then sweeping the left arm up. Now here you might need to use a wall or the chair. Please feel free to use whatever you need for your balance here, because we're going to use it anyway in the final pose. So take the arm up if you're comfortable and want to try that. But if not, you can either just hold here or take the arm out to the side, press against the wall maybe. But think of long front body and then see if you can almost come into a little bit of a back bend by drawing the shoulders back slightly and opening across the heart, drawing that leg up towards you. And then release that leg down. Release the arm down if you've taken it up. Other side. So drawing the leg in first, flexing that foot, and then drawing the shoulders back and then lengthening through the spine from the standing foot. Widen the standing foot. If you've got a wider base, you'll have a more stable base. And then taking the arm up and having a stretch up that long side if you can. If it's not for you, stretch out through your shoulders towards the wall maybe. Find your breath, bring the hands down, legs down. Taking a heart opener here by taking the hands as we breathe in, we take the hands out in front of us and we come up into Utthita Hastasana, hands above the head. So reaching up and rolling into a little bit of a back bend and then coming back down. I don't know if we did that one in the breath. We're going to take it in the breath now. So inhale, you find the extension through using your feet. My feet have gone together. You can have them hip distance apart if you want. But rolling and opening up that heart again. Take one more of those. So really thinking of pushing through the feet. Maybe softening the knees as you push up through and then use the legs too to open up and open up your heart. Keep your hands up above your head rather than out if you can, but if it's more comfortable out to the side, then take it that way. And then roll back down. Okay, so wall or chair again if you need it. We're going to take the leg up behind us this time, catch the foot. Should be a little bit more open. Thinking of pushing that knee downwards towards the floor, hip flexor moving forwards. So the legs are in, thighs are in line here. And then if you can take the arm up in front of you in a big semicircle and maybe put in a little bit of a back bend. If you find that wobbly, please use the wall, just hold the wall. But try and kick that foot now into the hand without moving the thighs apart. So just feel that movement of kicking into the hand there. And then release. Try that on the other side. The same thing. We're testing the force here that we need to use in the pose. So this is a process still, working with that pose we're moving towards. Hands up if you're comfortable, rolling open and into that bit of a back bend, kicking the foot into the hand, hand into the foot. Using the wall or the chair if you need it for balance, using that wide foot for balance. And then release. Okay, so grab your strap, everybody. Should have done this at the beginning. We need to have it in a little loop is handy. If you haven't got it in a loop already, you can use it doubled up, but that's quite, you're going to have shorter legs possibly for that. So you want it in a small loop to put your foot through. If you're not in it, take your time to make sure you've got the strap right before we move into the... I have an extra long strap, but mine doesn't actually. Not long enough to do it the other way. Okay, so once you've got your foot hold in your strap, preparation is part of the process. It didn't matter. Okay, pop your strap, your right foot through your strap. Keep the foot on the floor if it's more stable. And then we're just going to play with this, practicing towards dancer. So you're folding that foot up behind you, taking the heel towards your bottom. Doesn't need to go right to your bottom, so remember. And then you're kicking the foot into the strap. So feel that pressure, first of all. And then you're lifting your thigh, using that hip flexor. Lift the thigh up then. So the thigh in this pose should be parallel to the floor. Doesn't need to go there straight away. And then drawing the foot in a little bit more with your strap, but then kicking backwards again with the foot. And see if you can reach your heart forward at the same time. So play with that fulcrum once you get into that position that you feel your foot's kicking, your thighs lifted, and then use the fulcrum at your hips to just move backwards and forwards. Keep your tummy engaged if you can, it will support this. And that other foot is your support, so broaden through that foot if you can. Use the chair, use the wall, use anything you need for balance. Then once you've got to play with that one, take it to the other side. And then remember we take the foot up first of all, straps over the shoulder. And then we're playing with that kicking feeling into the foot. And then using that hip hinge, that bit below your glute on the left hand side, we're going to fold the foot up. So taking the thigh up towards parallel with the floor. And then drawing the strap in a little bit tighter if you can, holding the wall of the chair all the time if you need this. And then kicking that foot backwards into the strap. So at the same time, pulling the strap towards you over your shoulder. So you've got a force between those two, one trying to stop the other going out too far. And then play with the fulcrum again. And then once you've done that, and played on that side, you can keep the strap nearby if you want to use it for the full pose, or you can try with your hand, whichever. Okay, so hand, just a little bit extra here. Take your left hand and pop it behind you, fingers facing down. Draw it in towards the center of your spine if you can, so you really open that shoulder. And then we're taking the other arm up above our head, reaching up, and then rolling up through the spine into a back bend, moving that heart towards that top corner. Try not to push too far forward on your hips, so you're not doing too much pushing, but it's not quite like camel. We're not keeping that really stable position below the waist here. We can allow the lower spine to get a little bit involved in this back bend, but keep that tummy engaged. And then release. Try that on the other side. So this would be the top half of your pose. So you're taking that right hand in now, fingers facing down, elbows drawing in towards center so that it really opens up that shoulder, front of your shoulder on the right hand side. Take the other arm up, find that extension first of all on that side, and then draw forward with your heart, draw backwards with your shoulder. Look up a little bit, but keep that back of the neck contained. Keep the tummy engaged a little bit, so don't push forward completely through the lower half of the spine or in fact your back. But you should feel a gentle curve through from this bottom of the spine up. And then come back to the top. So grab your strap again, grab a chair, grab the wall, whatever you're going to use for this, to move into trying the full pose. So the strap, same thing as we did a minute ago. Other hand goes to the chair or the wall. If you're coming with me, I'm going to try to wobble into the whole pose. Everybody's taking the foot up behind them. Those that haven't got the strap, they're finding the hand on the front of that foot and kicking that foot into the hand. So you should feel that same opening on the front of the shoulder then. You're rolling that shoulder open kicking that foot into it, and then lifting that thigh, using the hip hinge. You might have to lean forward a little bit, use your fulcrum. Anybody that's just play around with the strap the same way that I'm doing with my hand. And then once you're in that position, you're going to roll your heart forward, lift the foot a little bit higher if you can, and then see if you can take the other hand off the chair or the wall. If you can't and you're happy being there, then just play with that back end of this pose, but try and keep your heart open. If you're taking the hand in front of you, you're opening it up in a big semicircle and reaching out ahead of you towards that top corner, and maybe bringing the fingers into a mudra by taking the thumb and the first finger together and moving forward. This is a moving forward, not moving down position. So if you come out of it, don't worry, just go back into it. So the heart is moving forward here. You're not folding down towards the floor. So there's that gentle curve in the spine. Try it on the other side. Come out of these things slowly. These are things that you don't have to warm up for them, but you could practice these using the kitchen unit or something through the day, the table. Coming into it in your way this time without too much of my cues and alignments. And finding your pose here. This process is all about you. It's about how you find yourself in a pose. Whoops, come back down into it. So when you're finished practicing, you can have another go at that after if you need to. We haven't got time now, so we're just going to release off a little bit. But that whole process took us towards that. So hopefully your body was ready to move into it and find stillness and flexibility at the same time to change. It's changed as we've moved through. Okay, so releasing. Have a little shake out through everything. And then rolling down gently, softening the knees, opening up the back of the legs, coming down into forward fold. When you're down there, keep the knees bent if you need to, that's fine. I haven't done much in the hamstrings to lengthen them, so don't open them too far. Walking the hands round to the right hand side. Have a little stretch out through the side body there. Walking the hands back to centre, around to the left hand side. If you're not happy doing this one, you could try some side bends, just about opening up the side body, rolling gently back up, coming into standing Dhanurasana now, so crossing the right foot, taking the right hand up, and then catching the right wrist with the left hand, gently lifting up and then side bending, so armpit down towards hip on the left hand side, opening up through that side body. And then gently back up to the top. So take it on the other side then, while I just tell you. Natarajasana, Nataraja, Shiva, Lord of the Dance. That's what this pose comes from. In Hindu belief, there are 4 yugas. They are ages of the universe. And Shiva is doing the dance, he's whirling around and he's dancing the destruction of each age to clear the path for the rebirth of the next age, which is created by Brahma, another god. So this circle of changes, life, death, rebirth, all that sort of thing, it's all to do with that, the 4 yugas. And interestingly, come back up from Dhanurasana now, just stand in Tadasana for a second. Just an interesting point is anybody that's been to CERN in Geneva, which is I'm reading this because I can't remember the wording, the European Organisation of Nuclear Research, CERN in Geneva, where the Hadron Collider is. Outside is a statue of Shiva, not in that dance position we've just done, but in another dance position, because his dance is fluid. He doesn't stay in that position the whole time. He does lots of movements. The wording under it, which is written from a scientist, I can't remember the name of the scientist, but it's the words of a scientist. which says the metaphor of cosmic dance unifies ancient mythology, so all of what we've just been talking about, religious art, which this statue is, and modern physics. So that idea that the cosmos just continually changes, there's a process always going on in the universe. Nothing stays static. Everything has its rhythm and change happens, is the whole concept behind that statue. So anybody who goes there, it's worth having a look. Okay, so last little movement here, we're just taking the arms up above the head, and instead of coming into Anjali Mudra, bring them into Kali Mudra, which is where your two index fingers join, and then join the hands and bring it down. So it's like you were playing a gun, like James Bond guns. So inhale, take the arms up above the head. So exhaling down, just take 2 or 3 of these to finish into Kali Mudra. Kali is another goddess. We've done her before. She's another warrior, goddess of destruction, etc. Bit fierce. The 4th yuga, the final yuga of this teachings, is called Kali Yuga. And unfortunately, that's the one we are in. But you don't need to worry. Bring the hands back down, maybe in prayer position this time, as I've just told you that. Bring them in prayer position down to heart center. You don't need to worry too much about being in the 4th yuga cycle age of the universe, because according to the teachings, although for Shiva it's only the blink of an eye and he's continually working that dance, there's over 400,000 years left of this yuga. So we're not at the end of it yet, so don't panic. Okay, so thank you for everybody working through this process this morning with me. A long process for some of us maybe. Hope you got some change out of it, and see you next week. Namaste.